Yo, what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for the new moon in Capricorn, January 11th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful week so far. Let's go ahead and hop into these astrological transits to see how you can be better prepared to navigate the celestial energies. Well, here's the calendar. As you can see, we have a star on today because it is the new moon in Capricorn. Venus will also trine Chiron today, and towards the end of the day, that moon will also enter into Aquarius. So I peg this day with the star. I find it to be the most important day of the week. So let's go ahead and actually look at the chart itself. All right. So here is the moment of the new moon. The new moon happened at 20 degrees of Capricorn. As you can see, it is still in square to the nodes. And this is, of course, this is a powerful new moon. Of course, whenever you have a new moon, it's new beginnings, sowing seeds, all that good stuff. But with it being here in Capricorn here, and Mars is here, and we got to remember, this is the last new moon that we will experience with Pluto also in Capricorn. It's the last new moon in Capricorn that we will experience with Pluto also in Capricorn in our lifetime, unless you live for another 250 years. So, yeah, very powerful, very intense, very transformative this new moon's going to be. And this isn't just necessarily about the typical Capricorn things like building your career and building a legacy and all that sort of stuff. This is about, in many ways, how we arrive. Because I'm thinking of the actual like sea goat, right? And how it's like the bottom half is the fish and the top half is the goat. In many ways, it does talk about the overall evolution, and kind of gotta remember that Capricorn Saturn is time, so it's like the overall evolution of this planet too. How we rose out of the sea and we came onto the land, and then you have the goat which ascended the mountain. So this new moon in many ways can represent that whole transition. Capricorn can represent that whole transition, how over time and through eras and through different eras, it was just a giant ocean, right? And it was primarily just the sea. And then, or at least that's what we're told, right? But how over time things evolved from these microscopic bacteria into simple creatures, and then into fish, and then those fish eventually were crawling up onto land, and then their fins became legs, and then over time things transformed and mutated, and then eventually you get all the way to climbing the actual mountain, right? And goats aren't the only animals that climb mountains, but it's just the representation in this case. So think about that. How you can take think about taking like an idea, right? Think about you take like an idea, right? Say you take the idea for a book or a story that you want to write, right? You take it from its primordial essence, its primordial beginnings, where it's percolating in the water, right? And you bring that to fruition. You start to really work on it, you start to really churn on it, and it starts to grow and evolve, and then eventually comes onto the land, right? Where it can be better seen, right? And then this is when things start to get a little difficult. You know, you bring it to the land, it starts to be seen, it starts to come into vision, if you will. But then taking that to the next step and actually climbing up the mountain, bringing that vision forward, bringing that story forward, working on it, editing it so you can actually, so that story can climb the mountain, if you will. And then it's seen by all, right? Then at that point, it has this wide, expansive view, and it's seen by all. So, in many ways, that is what this Capricorn energy represents. And we have to understand that with Pluto here at the end of Capricorn, this is like a transformation on literally the peak of the mountain itself, on Everest itself. That's what this Pluto being here is. So it's like it's interesting. I feel like this new moon is going to, especially considering the fact that we are in an 8 year, because 2 plus 2 plus 4 is 8, and 8 is the number of karma, right? So that's an interesting thing about 8 is the number of karma. 8 is also the number of Saturn, so it's the number of karma. What goes around comes around. What you put out is going to come back to you. It's also this is going to be a year where a lot of people are going to be more focused on finances and money. So this new moon in Capricorn is probably going to give a lot of people new ideas on how to make money, how to move forward, how to create a better legacy. Maybe they go for different jobs. So now, the new moon itself, the degree is 20, so it's 2. So it's going to be a rather emotional new moon. It's going to be a little bit more of a feminine new moon, especially with it, like I said, being in square to the south node and the north node, which is why it is incumbent upon you to be raw, to be yourself, to not be afraid to cause maybe some discord or some strife. I feel like the discord and strife that is going to be, I don't know what the right word is. I'm going to say the worst, but that's not really the word I'm looking for. But the discord, the true discord and strife that you will experience is from not expressing who you are, from not being your raw, true self, trying to be someone that caters to, you know, just keeping the peace, if you will, with that Libra, that South Node in Libra, trying to just keep the peace, trying to just fit in, trying to just find balance for balance sake, is actually going to keep you out of integrity. And that's the thing that we have to be careful of, right? So being your true authentic self and realizing what that you have this key that there's a door that only you can open. There is a treasure chest that only you can open, beloved. And what's interesting too, of course, is that we do have the planet Venus also in trine to Chiron for this new moon. So that's beautiful. Venus here is wanting to receive, especially considering that the degree that it's at, 1 plus 5 is 6, and Venus rules that number. Venus rules that number in numerology. So this is a very Venusian trine that's happening right now. And it being here in Sagittarius, it's wanting to receive in many ways this new story, this new belief, right? This new narrative. But this with the trine to Chiron, we really have to ask ourselves, what aspect of the Chiron are we going to be attaching ourselves to? Are we going to be attaching ourselves to the wounding, the victimhood, the victim mentality, trying to use that as a means to achieve success and move ourselves forward? That's only going to get you so far. Or are we going to take a look at the lessons that Chiron has taught us? Because Chiron is ultimately a teacher, and we forget about that. We forget that Chiron is a teacher, right? There's a what's his freaking name? There is a pretty famous influencer. I think he's also a comedian, but he has an amputated leg, right? I can't freaking remember his name, but I see him like all over like social media and stuff like that. But he has the most amazing costumes that he makes. And he utilizes the fact that he has one leg to his advantage to have costumes that honestly only he could pull off because he has the one leg. He could sit around and moan and complain that he only has one leg, or he can leverage that into making an awesome life for himself and a career out of himself to take, and it's physical too, right? that's the other thing about this. That's what, Chiron being an Aries, so it's physical, right? And but he took that and he did something with it. He, instead of moaning and complaining about, oh, woe is me, I only have one leg, he took that and he made an entire career out of the fact that he has only one leg. I can't freaking remember the dude's name. It's like, what is his name? Oh my gosh. One leg. What's the dude's name? He's like an influencer, kind of comedian dude. I can't remember. Let's see if I can look it up. It's like John something, maybe. I can't remember his freaking name. Yes, I found him. So I kind of remembered his last name. This dude right here. Here, let me yeah. You've probably seen this dude around. Yeah. He has like all the really cool costumes for like Halloween and stuff like that. But yeah, this dude right here. Yeah, he has one leg. He could. Yeah, he's an amputee. Yeah, he could have, been like, woe is me. Woe is me. Look, I only have one leg. But nah, he has some of the coolest freaking costumes. Let's see if I can find like look at this. Look at that. He's able to do that because he only has one leg. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are freaking cool ass costumes. And like, he's not the only one that does this, but yeah, look at this. It's a flamingo. And he's able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, look at this. I can't remember his name, and I feel bad for not remembering his name, but he used the freaking candle from Beauty and the Beast. Look at that. That's freaking awesome, right? And there's so many of them. Yeah. It's amazing. Look at that. See? Like, taking something that might have scarred you or hurt and leveraging that into something creative and amazing and beautiful. That's what we have to do with the Chiron. And with that Venus trining it, this is a beautiful, harmonious aspect. So it's about having a higher vision. It's like taking as like, okay, I see that thing might have sucked or hurt, but how can I take that to the next level? And instead of using it as using it and contributing more to a victim complex, how is there a greater vision here? How was I actually blessed by this? You got to find the blessings in the areas that you feel have scarred you and hurt you. That's the Venus trine of the Chiron. And the fact that this is happening at the same time with a new moon that is squaring the nodes. And of course, one of those nodes is in Aries with Chiron. This is a new moon where we can seriously take a look at some of those scars, some of those woundings, and realize that is our superpower. That is our blessing. And we can take that and use that to increase the quality of our life, to change our life, to change the life of those around us, to be that inspiration to other people. And you got to understand, there are some people out there that are on a cliff. There are some people out there that are on the edge, and you have the power within you to pull them back off that edge simply by being you, simply by being that inspiration. But are you going to allow fear to dominate your vibration? The fear of whether you're going to be rejected, the fear of not fitting in, the fear of people not getting it, the fear of feeling like you might be an imposter, right? Imposter syndrome. Or are you going to just live your life anyways? This is seriously about just live your life to the fullest. Are you afraid to live your life to the fullest? Because here's the fact of the matter. This is the one fact that we all face. We're all gonna die one day. We're all gonna die one day. So are you going to live your life to the fullest? Or are you going to continue to sit on the sidelines in your own life? Are you going to continue to be in the passenger seat of your own life? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that everyone needs to go be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we all have such creative potential and that we all can take the reins in our life and really do something awesome with it, right? I'm not saying that everyone, like I said, I'm not saying that everyone needs to go start their own business. I'm not saying that everyone needs to go do that, because if everyone started their own business, then we wouldn't really have any companies or businesses, right? So everyone has to work for somebody eventually. And not everyone's cut out for business. Or maybe you have a business for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and then you don't. But the future is going to belong to those who never retire. I'm going to repeat that. The future belongs to those who are never going to retire. Because even those that retire, if they have a creative passion or something that they're pouring their heart into, that is the work. And that's what's going to keep them alive. It gives them purpose. It keeps them honest. And that's what's important, you know? So we have to remind ourselves of that. We have to restructure and reform the entire way that we look at work, career, and legacy. This whole idea that you go work for a place for 30, 40, 50 years and then you retire, get pensions and all that sort of stuff, and then you just sit around and not really do anything, is the first word that came to my mind was meaningless. It's meaningless, which sounds kind of crazy. That's the first word that came to my mind. And yeah, maybe you're able to take care of a family and all that sort of stuff with it, but at the end of it, are you just sitting around and not really doing much, not really pouring your heart and soul into something? That's not really living a full life. You you never retire. You retire from life when you die. Okay, so when you retire in your career, that doesn't mean that you're done, right? There's still Aquarius that comes after Capricorn. There's still Pisces that come after Capricorn. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So like you when you die is when you retire from life. So there's work that needs to be done. This is a new moon that is going to tug at the heartstrings a little bit. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a new moon that's going to push you to adults a little bit more, to take on those responsibilities. And the responsibilities is the ability to respond to a stimulus, right? That's what a responsibility is, right? So, what is stimulating you? I have like a cup here that's been sitting here for a couple days. It's my responsibility to actually wash this cup, but it's just been sitting there. It's stimulating me because I can see it, and I know within my being that I should take that cup and take it over to that sink and wash it instead of it just sitting here for a couple of days. Do I have the ability to respond to the stimulus? That's a perfect little example right there. So that's the thing about this responsibility. You have the ability to respond to the stimulus, right? I think it's going to be a powerful new moon. I think it's going to be a very powerful new moon. Especially, like I said, the other part about this new moon is that we have Mars here that is in trine to Jupiter. It has been in trine to Jupiter for a little bit, but Mars does enter that fifth degree. So we have two beautiful trines with Venus to Chiron and then Mars to Jupiter during this new moon. So even though this new moon is squaring the nodes and you're kind of at a bit of a crossroads on whether or not you're going to be your raw, true, authentic self, or whether you're going to outsource yourself just to appease the collective and appease someone else and trying to keep balance and peace and harmony, but then something that's actually not balanced at all. We have these two beautiful trines that are happening at the same time. That's reminding us that with the Mars and Jupiter, this is about, yeah, you already have the millions, the billions of dollars. Your soul is worth all that and more. It's infinite. You already have the tools. So how can you utilize these tools maybe you have to get a little bit creative about the way you use these tools, right? Maybe you have to, think a little bit about it. This is 5 degrees, so you know, that's Gemini energy. It's mercurial, so that's the thing about this. And like I said, with the Venus, with the Chiron here, it's about opening up and receiving our gifts, our talents, our superpowers, which, like I said, I've said in many videos before, superpowers, the origin story of a lot of superheroes usually comes off the back of some sort of trauma. But then they use that trauma and then they gain that superpower and then they use it to save people and help people. That's what this is all about. Are you going to just sit in your own shit, sit in your own wounding and let it fester? Are you going to not see the beautiful things that are coming into your life that you can manifest? The beautiful gifts that are already here with this Jupiter and Mars now, Jupiter, which is moving forward now? Are you going to be your true, raw, authentic self, regardless if it might cause a little bit of discord and strife because there are other people that don't necessarily get it because they aren't being their true authentic self, so they can't appreciate someone else as being their true authentic self. They're trying to bring you back into the matrix and bring you back into the fray and bring you back into this, like, the grayness of it all. It's like, come be a great blob with us. Are you going to allow people to pull you back into the gray blobby world? Are you going to be that magnificent peacock with all your beautiful colors and be even a little obnoxious about it? Like, bitch, I'm here. I'm here. I got the power. I got the beauty. I got the color. I had the vitality of life within me. That's what this new moon is all about. Let's get into the cards. Oh. I need to shave my head. Looking a little rough over here. It's funny too, when I tell people I need to shave my head and I show it to them, they're like, no, you're fine. I'm like, yeah, but my personal standard, I need to shave it. But to be fair, I don't think I have enough time to shave it today, so I'm probably just going to throw on a hat. So all right, what do we got for the new moon in Capricorn? Six of Pentacles. Beautiful. Love it. Standing on the cliff. He has it. It doesn't really, what I like about this deck is that it doesn't really show anybody else. Normally this card shows someone like giving out coins to other people, like a soup kitchen or type of deal. But he's just standing there on the cliff right before the nighttime, and he is in his power because he gave to himself first before he gave to others, right? He gave to himself. He gave himself the gift of living life to the fullest first. He gave it to himself first. And that is the most important part about this. You have to, if you start every single day by giving to yourself, you start every single day by establishing that routine, that ritual of giving to yourself, doing something for yourself, pouring back into yourself, right? Realizing your own value and increasing and appreciating your own value. Appreciate and bring it up, right? Bring it up in value. If you start every single day by appreciating yourself and your connection to spirit, then you'll start to see your life really change in beautiful ways. And you'll be in a better position to give to other people. You'll be in a better position to give to other people, to help other people. That's followed by, it's interesting, we got the Devil card, which is the card of Capricorn, right? So you got the Devil card, here. You know, I think this is really just a reminder. It's kind of a reminder of the matrix itself, and a reminder that there are going to be times where you're going to be tempted. There's going to be times where the flesh will tempt you, or money will tempt you, or other things will tempt you, and you have to remain in integrity. I think ultimately that's what this comes down to. It's just the reminder. Look, he's pointing at himself, right? He's like, hey, this is my world, right? This is my world. But that's the interesting thing too, is that yeah, you live in this world, but your spirit is of another world. You have to remind yourself of that. So yeah, we are in the matrix, we're here in this plane, and we have to play by its rules in many ways. But you are so much more powerful than you realize, and you've been fooled into believing that the power that you come from can't be shown in this world. The power that you come from can't exist in this world, but that's not true. That's not true. This is the reminder that there are temptations, there are desires, there are things that may knock us off our path, but it ultimately is that lesson for us that's always going to bring us back to source. It's just whether or not we go through it. There's not really an easy way, but it's whether or not we suppress it or whether or not we choose to ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Bottom of the deck, I do have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So I think the only way that we really get to the 9 of Pentacles, like upright, where we're feeling confident, we're that independent. No, this is an independent, strong woman. You know what I'm saying? You know, she don't need no man. But it's reversed. So I'm saying that really this is going to come down to recognizing our worth, recognizing our value. And yes, there's an element I'm feeling here of teamwork does make the dream work. We have to acknowledge that we can't just completely escape from this matrix, but the matrix is definitely glitching. Now, you guys can feel that the matrix is definitely glitching. We can't just completely escape from the matrix, though. We can't. It's going to pull us back in, right? He's pointing to himself, right? It's going to pull us back in, right? So, what do we do? Well, we make the best of the fact that we fell into this dimension. This dimension's heavy. We make the best of the fact that we fell. And we don't forget who we are and where we came from, right? It's like the Lion King say, don't forget who you are. I don't know if it was don't forget or never forget who you are. Or no, it was remember who you are. That's what he said. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. You are an infinite spark of the divine. Your spirit is infinite. Your spirit is no thing and everything simultaneously. Right? Crazy, right? Our human brain can't really comprehend that, right? But it is true, right? Ultimately, I think today's going to be a very powerful day. But I think this is, like I said, this is a day where pour into yourself before you pour into others. Recognize your value and what you had to contribute. And don't be afraid to be your raw, authentic self. And don't feel like you have to cater and play the political game with that South Node in Libra and PC and try to appeal to the highest bidder or the donors or the fucking lobbyists in your life. We all have lobbyists in our life. They're lobbying for us to be a certain way and do a certain thing, right? And they may pay us in whatever, could be actually money, but people lobby in our lives too. Like we all have lobbyists in our life that are wanting us. They may pay us in saying how they're proud of you, or maybe they may spend more time with you and stuff like that too, right? You have to ask yourself, if I was really my true authentic self, Would all the lobbying, would they continue to lobby for me? Would they continue to support me? If yes, cool. If no, allow it to fall out of your life. Allow those lobbyists to fall out of your life. But we can't just stay in the South Node Libra energy. We can't just stay there, right? We have to be true to ourselves. And when we're true to ourselves, the right people, the right situations will show up. That doesn't mean it won't be challenging or difficult. That won't mean that we won't want to, second guess our decision to take the red pill. But it's not like you just take the red pill once, right? It's not like you just take the red pill once, because clearly we can see that you can take the red pill as many times as you want, but if you take the blue pill, you're going to go right back into the matrix. People do it all the time. So it's not just like, I took it once, I'm good, I'm awake. No, it's a continual journey, right? And I think we all kind of go back and forth and stuff like that. We all kind of sometimes we can get sucked back into the matrix because we have to play the game. We're still here, right? We're still alive, still in this 3D dimension, right? Third dimension. We're still in this, and we're still in this Spain of this plane of existence, if you will, right? So we still have to play the game, if you will. But yeah, this is kind of another red pill moment. And we have to ask ourselves, are we willing to do the work? Are we willing to step up to the plate, take a swing at it? And that's the thing about this. We're afraid that's going to be 3 strikes and you're out. But you don't understand, like, the universe, God, spirit will continue to throw the ball at you. It's not 3 strikes, you're out. The universe just wants to see if you'll continue to take a swing at it. You can be up to the 1,000th pitch. And maybe you're tired. Maybe your shoulders are tired. Maybe your arm, maybe you're just tired of standing there, right? Maybe the crowd around is like, oh my gosh, when is he going to hit the ball? Oh my gosh. And then you get worried. And then are you going to pull out, or are you going to continue to take a swing at it? Because like I said, this is not a 3 strikes, you're out. This is all you need is that one opportunity, that one chance. So don't give up on yourself. And give yourself the benefit of the doubt. That is going to do it for your new moon and Capricorn astrology forecast for this January 11th. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. I hope and trust that this will assist you on your journey today and going forward. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Thursday. I will see you all in the next astrology forecast. Peace.